Welcome, everyone, to our second podcast for today on February 16th, 2026. We are here with a special guest that I will have Marcia introduce after I introduce Marcia. Marcia, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's already the middle of February.
I
Wow.
know.
Time's already gone by. But yeah, I am happy to be here. And we are thrilled to have as our second guest today, Cailin Peluso. Hi, Cailin.
Hi. Hi, thank you
Hi.
for having me.
And as we talked about beforehand, I am currently in Northeast Florida, and Michael's in the Washington, D.C. area. And you're in currently in LA,
Yes, I am.
but you're not originally from LA. You're a Northeaster too.
I'm from Maryland as well.
hmm And my understanding is that you moved to LA when you were about 19 years old. You look about 19 now, but when you were 19 years old.
I usually get 12, so thank you.
So that was kind of a bold move at such a young age.
Yeah, it was, but also it's what I said I was going to do my whole life, so my family wasn't very surprised when I announced that I was leaving.
Mm-hmm. Because you started very young in the theater acting, like maybe when you were 5 or so.
Yeah, I think I did my first play when I was 3 or 4. At like my church. They were doing a Christmas play, and I remember getting off stage and being so mad because I wanted to be Mary, but I had to be an angel because I was 4 years old.
So from that point, you were determined to get bigger roles.
Yes.
And look at you now. But yeah, Michael loves it when I go into the Wayback Machine. You see my Wayback Machine here. It's really fun to know where our guests come from and how they developed in the acting and theater area. So you said your first role was in church. So how did you progress from there into acting more?
After that, I didn't really know how to get into acting per se. I was always kind of like, oh, I want to do that, but I don't know how to do it, especially in elementary school because we didn't have like a theater club or a theater outlet for kids until about 3rd grade. My best friend was like, oh, I'm doing this play, and like my eyes lit up and I was like, they have that here? That's a thing we can do? And then she took me to one of her rehearsals with her, and I sat there and I watched, and I was so jealous. And it just happened that their lead got sick the next day and couldn't do the show. So I was sitting there like, I'll do it. And then I was the lead in this children's play a week before it was put on, and I just remember being like, this is it. This is what I've wanted to do. And that kind of opened that outlet again for me. And then I got into community theater, school theater, continued.
Yeah. And being in the right place at the right time counts for a lot. So were you able to start memorizing lines like that early, or how did you learn that technique?
Oh yeah. I remember that play that I was like, I'll be the lead. I had 72 lines, and I remember going up to everyone and being like, I learned 72 lines. And I can say them all for you right now.
You were so proud of yourself.
Yes, I was so proud, but I also I knew this is what I wanted to do. So I was like, I need to exercise this because it is a muscle memory thing.
Yeah.
And I would just try to memorize random things. Like I'd read a book and I'd be like, I'm going to memorize this chapter of this book.
And you memorized the whole chapter of the book?
I said I did, but then I'd improv about half of it and be like, see, I did it.
So, what kinds of books were they? Were they fantasy or?
I was so into vampire books, like Twilight, any
Oh my.
that was oh my.
Well, both Michael and I are tremendous sci-fi fantasy geeks and nerds and all that. So,
Yes. I was obsessed with that stuff. And then I got into verticals and I was like, wait, I'm kind of just living my childhood dream right now and getting to pretend that I'm a werewolf and a vampire.
and there were a lot of them. I'm not going to steal Michael's questions. Maybe I should go to Michael right now before I
No, no,
ask.
you can have two more. I'll give you two
I
more.
can have to.
Yeah.
Well, when and living in the Baltimore area and so close in proximity to New York, were you able to go and see theater there since you were you were into theater? Were you able to see some plays? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. When I got my first job, I was 15. I started working at 15, just minimum wage jobs. And I would save everything I made and I would take the train to New York and go see a show. So in high school, I spent most of my weekends and time off just going to New York because I also liked to collect the playbills. And I was like, if I
Oh
have as many
yeah.
playbills as I can, I'll be the coolest person in the world.
Oh, I collect playbills too. I was like you. I scrimped and saved and went to see his. I grew up in New York City. I was born and
Great.
raised in New York, and I still have playbills. In fact, I keep a couple in my restroom just because, just to have the atmosphere. Even though I live in Florida now.
I
So,
love that.
what were some of the plays that you saw that really influenced you, or you really sparkled your imagination?
I remember seeing Beetlejuice when it first came out with the original cast.
Mm.
And I think it was the first time I saw someone on stage like that was around my age or I could play that age and like felt kind of like me, like an angsty teen. Because before that, I was seeing shows like Phantom of the Opera and what else did I see? Like Kinky Boots, like very like super fun shows. But I'm like, who would I play? And then I
Mm-hmm.
saw Beetlejuice and I was like, that's who I'm
That's
going to
it.
play.
Cool. Okay, Michael, you can get it now.
Okay, okay. That's the good. We have some people in the chat room, and I just want to throw up something from Digital Potato Artist 2005. They say, love New York City. I've seen Wicked, Lion King, Phantom, and Aladdin. Have you seen those two?
I've seen Wicked, Phantom, and Aladdin. I have not seen Lion King, which is crazy because I feel like that's the one show that everyone has seen on Broadway.
Well, that's interesting. So, so you got to still see that, I guess,
I do. I hear great things.
when they have a revival. So, growing up in Baltimore, did you do anything in Baltimore also in theater a lot, or were you just going and seeing plays when you were in high school up in New
I
York?
did a lot of community theater, and actually my first paid acting job was at a regional theater in Cumberland, Maryland, so closer to West Virginia.
That is much closer to West Virginia, yeah.
Yes. But that was the first time I ever got paid to act, and I remember being like, whoa, like it was not a lot of money, but it was still
But it was
like
paid. But it was paid.
Exactly.
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh, I get to come here and play pretend and you're giving me money for that?
Yeah, Cumberland is the way people don't know. That's getting up into the mountains of Maryland in the west. So that's about 2+ hours away from Baltimore. So
Yes.
actually, New York City is closer than Cumberland. So, oh no, I'm sorry, no. Cumberland is still close, but not by much.
Yes.
Not
maybe
by much.
40 minutes.
Maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and that's all. So it's kind of wild the way that works. Growing up, I think you might have covered it, but I just want to go this again because I think we talked about it before you got on air too. When you're not doing a vertical, which you've done quite a few of them. You said, what was the number? 30?
Yes, I'm on 30 currently.
Yeah, so 30 currently. What do you like to do in your spare time if you do have any?
My spare time is usually, I never feel more like an adult than I do when I have spare time, because I'm like, okay, I have to do my laundry, I have to do my dishes, I have to do my chores, I have to get gas. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, what did I do with my day?
All the things you have to do when
All
you're
the
an
things-
adult. Yeah.
Yes. I feel like that's the stage of life I'm at right now, is very, oh, I'm an adult, and it's hitting me.
And it's hitting you, and there's no way you can get around it.
Yes. Like right before this, I was doing my taxes and I was sitting here like, oh my gosh, how old am I?
Oh, you would mention that T word. I've got to go work on mine again.
I know.
It is just so awful.
Yes. But other than that, I like to I do try to spend as much of my free time with my friends that I can.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've realized the more verticals I do, the more important it is to have an outlet of friends, like away from, especially because I'm constantly working. I need a little reminder sometimes that these are people who know you for you and not you as vertical Cailin.
Yeah.
Right. Now, of all the roles that you have played so far, not, including verticals, but all the other things, is there one that stands out that you really had a great time doing, or you just really love that character you played?
I got to play, I think it's called My Teenage Great Grandma.
Yes.
That was so fun to play just because it was so different than anything I've played before. Whether it be a vertical or not vertical, I tend to play more of a victim and more of, I have a very innocent face, I've been told. So I tend to play a lot of innocent characters that people feel bad for. But that one, I got to be so cool. I was in charge.
Yes.
They told me they wanted my character to be a mix of Wednesday Addams and then Anya Taylor-Joy in Queen's Gambit. And I was like, this is the best day of my life.
That's an interesting combination of personalities, too.
Yes.
Now, one that I did see, and I mean, the title got me, and I said, I've got to look at this crazy thing. Wrong Sperm, Right Love. How did you?
Look at her face.
Yeah. How much did you think? Is this crazy or what? And then, how did you approach the character? Because that poor character got bullied by almost everybody.
Yes.
Which was actually horrible in my book.
It was very difficult. Let me just start by saying, when I filmed that project, that was not the title.
Why am I not surprised? Do you remember the title that it was originally?
I don't. It was something very vague and like very much a title that we knew was going to change. We just didn't know what it was going to change to. It was like a one word, didn't really make a lot of sense. And they told us they were going to change the title, and we gave them suggestions. And then it came out, and I started getting tagged in things that had the word sperm in it. And I was like, what is this?
Was I in that?
Yeah, I was like, why are people? And then I realized that's what they changed the title to. And they didn't tell us.
I've heard they never do most of the time with everybody. Yes. It's always a surprise.
Yes, but for a very long time, when you looked up Cailin Peluso on Google, the top search was Cailin Peluso sperm.
Pretty sad.
Yeah, pretty. And that's the one, too, that people from, like, my childhood church would message me and say they saw an ad for. And I'd be like, no, please, not that one. Anyone but that one. It was... Yeah. I had a lot of fun shooting it, though. We shot that one in Atlanta. And the crew was amazing, like one of the best crews I ever worked with.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you have a really good production, sometimes you forget what you're actually filming. And then it comes out and you're like, oh, I was just beat for an entire show.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, that was a little much, and I just went. Hopefully, she'll meet somebody that doesn't want to knock
Yeah.
her around. I was just like, this is so sad. And people that, in my opinion, like the help of this mansion, the guy in charge tells the help, treat this woman like she is the woman of the house, and none of them do. They go with the um, sister-in-law or whatever you want to call, the
Yeah.
dead brother's ex-wife, and I just went, I don't know if that would really happen, but hey, it's a drama, it's a soap opera, so
Yes.
whatever.
They want the people yelling at their phones going, no.
Yes, and I did. So I will admit
worked.
that it worked, but I still wasn't happy. But
No.
I will say I did enjoy your performance.
Thank you.
I did
Yes,
enjoy your performance.
that is one where I'm definitely not proud of the content that was put out, just because
Mhm.
I don't like that that's how we are treating a young woman.
Mhm.
That's something that I think should change, but I have noticed has been getting better.
It honestly, it has. I mean, we've talked about it on many of our shows that it is changing, it is evolving, and we're very happy about that. And they're putting in more genres, which is very exciting.
Yes.
So it's just because like I've said before, when I first found these, it's a year and a half now. Almost every single title either had billionaire CEOs. At first, I didn't see any of the vampire and the werewolf ones. I just saw everybody was a billionaire and everybody was a CEO, and they were all secret. No one knew their identities. And I go, really? Okay. But that has changed a little bit. So
it is changing, and I think it's very much. It has to do with the fans, because if you guys, it's all on views. So if I do a show where I get beat like crazy, but it gets 1 million views, they're gonna make it again because it got views. But I have noticed recently a lot of fans have either not watched those ones or have said like, hey, this is not cool. And a lot of actors as well have been like, we don't want to do this anymore. Like, if we don't say no, they're going to keep being made.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Marcia, I'll go back to you.
Yeah. When looking at the difference between doing, say, a horizontal, because now we have to have a word for the regular ones, and a vertical. You had an earlier piece on Law and Order, I saw.
We did.
And what was that like, being on a production like that? Huge.
That was so insane. That I got that maybe not even 6 months into moving here.
Wow.
And I just remember being like, oh, this is something that I can actually do. Because of course people move to LA and they're like, I'm going to be an actor. And then you wait tables or you work at Starbucks. Sorry, my cat is being really annoying. But I think it was that little bit of hope that I needed to tell me to like stay here and do this, because this is, you can actually get something. But actually going to New York and being on that set, I was very much a 19-year-old who had never been on a big set before. But I wanted to be cool. So I was very shy. I remember Mariska Hargitay came up to me and she gave me a hug, and I couldn't say anything. I just looked up at her and was like, hi, hi.
Hi, yeah.
Hi. She was like, you're doing a good job. And I was like, me?
Oh,
Hi.
fantastic. That's
But
fantastic.
everyone was super nice. The whole cast was very like even like it was me and two other girls who were playing the victims.
Mm-hmm.
And we were there for maybe 2 or 3 days. And
Mm-hmm.
still the main cast members came up to us and talked to us, and I think that's very, very kind. And I was like, oh, you are real people.
Mm-hmm. That was very cool. And then I think what might have been your first one of your first verticals was the Alpha Queen Returns, where you played Princess Caroline.
Yes.
And was that your first vertical?
That was my first vertical. I did one before that. It was also a werewolf one. I
Uh-huh.
was a day player.
Hmm.
So I don't really know anything of what happened to that one.
So the first one that we would have seen
Yes,
is
would
the
be
Alpha
the Alpha
Queen.
Queen Returns. Yes.
Yeah, where Princess Caroline. So, and since that was your entree, your real entree entry into the vertical world, and and that was, I think, Justin Birdie was in that. We've had him on the show
Oh, yes.
too. Yeah, and having a role as a princess, how did that feel to finally be um, a featured person in a vertical that you might have heard about, and now you're part of that world?
It was a very mixed experience, I'd say. I'd say the first day, because I was on that for maybe 3 or 4 days, but I remember the first day leaving set, because I didn't really understand what was going on, because I was still pretty new with verticals. I didn't really know what they were yet. I'd done a day player thing, but I was only there for like an hour or two. So I just remember one of the first scenes I shot, I had to lay there and I was like, I had my eyes closed. I think I was like really sick or possessed or something. And I remember hearing them talk around me and just being like, wait, what am I filming right now? Because
Yeah.
they were saying things like my alpha, my beta, and I was like, what? Where am I? And I remember calling my manager and being like, what am I filming right now? He was like, it's a vertical. I was like, I don't know what they're saying. I don't understand anything that's going on right now.
It's a foreign language.
Yes. I was like, why are they talking like this? But then
Yeah, and
I did my research and I looked up a vertical and I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. Okay, I got it now.
mhm. Because I think your first scene that we see you're like scrubbing floors
Yes.
and being like Cinderella.
Yes. And I remember the first scene I shot where I had to speak, the director came up to me and he was like, you're doing great. Like, we love you and everything. But can you just like, he was like, have you done theater before? And I was like, yeah. Because theater acting and screen acting is very different. You're taught to like tone everything down. And he was like, pretend you're on stage right now and act like that. And I was like, oh. So all my years of theater acting, I can
Paid off.
use right now. I can just.
Mhm.
And so I think that's what made it click. Like, oh, this is what I'm doing. I'm being over the top. I'm being dramatic. This is fun.
Hmm. I remember when I'm fairly new to verticals. Michael drew me into this world, and when I first saw them with the kind of what might be termed overacting kind of
Yeah.
little, and I said, why are they doing that? And then an actor told me it's because people are watching on their phones and it gets their attention. It keeps
Mm-hmm.
the attention. And I said, oh, and then it started to click. So
Yes.
it seems similar to the experience that you had.
Yes. I was a little hesitant at first because I was like, this is not what I came to California to do. I wanted to be very serious and like tone everything down. But now I get so excited when they're like, usually they'll either come up to me and they'll be like, can you vertify it or can you like
Vertify.
go up 10%? And I'm like, so you want me to be really over the top dramatic? Please, this is going to be so fun.
Ah, see, that's not, okay. That's a new word. I have to verify it. Ah,
Yes.
and I before I hand it back to Michael, I have to talk about one of my favorite ones that you've done is um, Rescued by the Rugged Mountain Man,
Oh, yeah.
which was I found it so cute. Well, the where was that filmed?
That was filmed in Canada, in Vancouver. That
Ah,
was like the only set that afterwards I cried because I was like, I love you all so much.
oh, no, what? So you were really out in woods?
Oh, yes, it was freezing. If you see me in those scenes, I'm wearing very little clothing.
Yes.
And I was like, there was a point where there's a scene where I'm tied to a tree and they like do things to me, but I'm
Yeah.
wearing a very like a spaghetti strap dress,
Like
very
so,
little clothes.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And during the scene, I was so cold that like my shoe fell off and I didn't realize it fell off. And they were like, cut. And I was like, what's going on? And they were like, your shoe. And I was like, what? And I looked down and my shoe was just on the ground and my foot was like pressed against like rocks and stuff. And I didn't even feel it. And I was like, oh, this can't be good. I have no feeling in my feet right now.
Oh my gosh,
So
that's
they quickly
terrible.
like ran me into holding and they got me like a fireplace and 3 heaters. And I was sitting there like a
Oh
hot
my
dog
God.
at 7-Eleven, just like rotating.
So you had real snow.
That was fake snow.
It was fake snow. Okay.
But there was a point where it was raining and it turned to
Mhm.
snow, and we were like, well, it's very realistic.
Yeah. And there was one Piper that when
Yeah,
they tied her up to the tree, the scream she let out.
I love her. That was such a fun cast. And I remember when we were filming that scene, there was another production company like scouting the area to see if they wanted to film there.
Hmm.
And me and Piper were just screaming at the top of our lungs all day. And they would just like turn and be like, what is going on?
Oh my gosh. But then and there was a lot of comedy in this piece,
Yes, that's
which
why I love when they let me be funny or sassy.
hmm yeah. And another thing, some people have talked about that you are pregnant and you have been pregnant in more than a couple of your verticals.
That's my whole brand.
That can be a challenge.
Yeah, especially because I know I look young. So why am I the one known for always being pregnant? I think that's why they do it though, because it's like a shock
Yeah,
value thing.
you gain a lot of empathy
Yes.
from the audience and your youthful look and your we want everybody wants to protect you and take care of you and make sure that the bad people are taken care of
Yes.
and oh should I go back to you, Michael?
Yeah, I think Caitlin, was you going to say something? I don't want to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good.
Oh, we're good. Okay, because I wanted to do one of the other comments. And Wanda Brewer says, my favorite vertical is Fly Me Away, My Captain Husband, that you did with Casey Esser.
Yes. I
Do you
was
have any
pregnant.
memories of that one
Oh
that stand
yes.
out?
That was in the midst of all my pregnancies.
Ah, okay.
But that was a really fun one. Casey is very, very tall, and I
Yes.
am very, very short. So I'd say about 90% of that vertical, I was standing on a box to lift me up because we couldn't fit in the frame together.
That's a big thing on verticals.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
that's
But
challenging.
yes, that was a very fun shoot. Again, another one where the production company was just amazing. The director was amazing. The camera team was amazing. Everyone was. I met a lot of friends on that set.
Mm. That was one of my questions I was going to ask. Have you run into a lot of people that doing 30 verticals that you've been before, or have you been getting a lot of new people?
I'd say recently, if I start a new set, I usually know at least 2 or 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very small community, but at the same time, there are so many people in it that it kind of feels like high school sometimes. I'm like, oh, I know these people go to this school and these people go to this school, and I transfer schools all the time, but like I know these people.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great analogy.
Mm-hmm. That is. Have you ever thought about doing voiceover work?
I have, but not because I'm like, oh, I want to do that, but because so many people on set tell me you should do voiceover work. And I think it's because I never shut up. And it's not like I'm talking, I'm just like randomly saying things in different voices and like quoting different things. And I think it would be a lot of fun because I have a lot of voices I could use.
Would you like to do like cartoons or anime, or would you just like to dub horizontals? Let's say that.
Oh no, I would love to do cartoons. I would love to be a little Nickelodeon cartoon character.
I can hear that.
That'd be so fun.
That would be fun. That would be fun. Marcia, I'm going to go to you for the last final little round here.
Well, Cinderella's Royal Secret. We have to talk about that.
I love that one.
That is a lovely one. We've had several guests on from Cinderella. We've had Eric. We've had Eric and Anthony on.
I love them.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite verticals I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And we filmed that in China.
Yeah.
So it was very different than here, but we had so much fun. I remember one night, me, Eric, and Anthony actually, we were like sitting there talking, and we like looked up and we were like, where did everybody go? And then we realized nobody was there anymore. Like we were just all filming there, and then we were talking for not even that long, maybe 10 minutes. And we looked around and we were like, everyone disappeared. And we were filming at this castle. So we're running around the castle being like, where'd everyone go? Where'd everyone go? And then finally we got a hold of the AD and they're like, where are you? And we're like, where are you? And they had all left and gone to like the other side of the castle that you needed a car to get to. So everyone was over there and we were stranded over here. And then we finally got there. And the whole night just felt like, you know, if you think back, like when you're a kid and you go to a sleepover and then you hit that like that 3 a.m. time wall where you've been up for a little too long and you get a little delirious and everything is funny. That's how we felt on that set 99% of the time.
I remember the beginning where, you know, you have these giant eyeglasses on and you're...
Everyone, when I was wearing that, everyone was like, this is the real you. This look matches how you act. Most of that, when I was in the glasses and the wig, most of that was improv.
Oh.
Like most of my lines in there, they were like, especially because everyone on the crew spoke Mandarin and didn't speak English. So only 1 or 2 people spoke English. So as long as I had like, I started at point A and I got to point B, the middle, I could kind of do whatever I wanted.
Oh, that was fun.
It was very fun. And there were so many things that I think there's one part where I say like lit balls, which was definitely not in the script. I was just joking around and I was like, oh, they kept it. And there's a scene where Anthony asked me, what is a bar like this doing in a girl like you? And they kept it. And I love that so much.
Yeah. And then the rain scene.
That was the last scene we shot of the whole thing.
Ah. And I imagine it wasn't really raining.
No, it was three guys with a hose
With
spraying.
hose. They make for memorable moments.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for your work in that and so many others. Um, and it looks like they're winding down, but I did want to ask you. I looked at your Instagram. Were you ever involved in cheerleading?
I was. That
Were
was
you a
my.
flyer?
I was.
Uh-huh.
That's. I kind of. I wasn't like in with the cheer girls, but I
Hmm.
was. I knew how to. They could throw me up and I'd do my tricks and they'd catch me and I'd be good for the team. And so I feel like when I say I was a cheerleader, I feel kind of like a fraud because I wasn't like with I wasn't like, yay! But I
Hmm.
would show up and I'd be like, okay, let's go. I was very much, I want to compete. I want to do
Hmm.
this.
Hmm. Hmm. So I have to ask my question, Michael,
I
about
know, I know. Mhm.
there's so many reality shows in the United States today. You know, the cooking shows and dancing shows and survival shows. And so, if you, Kaylin, was going to be on a show, a reality show, or what do you think you might pick?
That's such a good question. Okay, I have two answers.
That sounds good.
One, my guilty pleasure show is the Kardashians. I know
Ooh.
it's problematic, but I just get so I've watched that show since I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old because my stepmom loves it. So I've
Hmm.
always been keeping up with them.
Yeah.
I would love just to like, I don't know, be in a part of the episode where I like go get lunch with one of them or just get to like sit there and watch the family drama.
Hmm.
That would be so fun. Or
Oh.
I would love to be on the show Is It Cake? I love that show.
That's a great show. Now, would you a baker or the guesser?
I would have to be a guesser. I think if I was a baker, they would know immediately that my cake was cake.
That is, I was surprised by that show. I was skeptical at first, but dang, can those people make some?
I had a week off one time and I watched all of the seasons, all of the specials. I spent the entire week watching Is It Cake? And that was probably one of the best weeks of my life.
I am so okay. You producers out there, she wants to be a guesser on. We'll have to have the
Please,
vertical week on.
please.
That would be amazing. But yeah, I hear your kitty cat. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for spending some time. What's his name?
Um, her name is Binkley.
Binkley.
Yes.
Okay, that has to have a story.
Her name was Frankie.
Hmm.
And then my old roommate had a best friend named Frankie who started coming over a lot. So you would say Frankie, and the cat and the human would both turn their heads. And so it got very confusing. And then one night, my friend's friend had a little too much to drink and accidentally called my cat Binkley. And we were like, okay, that's it. It's Binkley now.
That's it. Okay. Sometimes things happen like that. You know, it's magic, right?
It stayed.
Wonderful. Well, yeah. Thank you for spending time with us today, and you've got such a tremendous body of work, and we'd love to hear more about it. And I hope you come back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Thank you very much for coming. People in the chat room, I appreciate you throwing some questions. I didn't get to all of them. I tried, but maybe another time when Cailin comes back.
That's right.
Because she's done 30, so I'm expecting another 30 in the next, what, 2 months? No, I'm kidding.
Absolutely.
Is something coming out soon that we can check out?
Yes, I have one coming out on Drama Box on Wednesday.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Do you know the title, or have they not finalized it yet?
It's called Too Late, My Ex-Campus King. It's a high school college one.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. So that's good. That's good. So everybody out there, thank you all for coming. We've got more podcasts tomorrow. We've got 2 more vertical actors tomorrow. And let me pull up who it is so I can tell you.
You've
because
got
I
Jackie
forget.
Lauper.
That's right. We have Jackie Lauper, and hers is at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And then we have Joey James French, who's on at 3 p.m. Eastern time, 12 p.m. Pacific. And since he is in the UK, it's at 8 o'clock in the UK. So actually, he just popped in on the one before to surprise the guest that we had on. It was his co-star. So that was kind of fun. That was kind of fun. So everybody out there, everyone take care. And we'll all see you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.